Good morning, and welcome to this very special edition of Sutherland News. Here we got John Fluevog, a well-renowned individual in the realm of shoemaking. Now, he's been doing it since the 70s. He probably had the idea early as the 50s, but he's been around for 50 years, since the 1970s. And so, it's good to have you here, John.
It's really good to be here, Connor. Thanks so much for inviting me.
No problem. Now, I got a few questions that I want to ask you, if it's all right with you.
I'd love to answer some questions. Hopefully, I do it well for you.
This first one is just a genuine interest, but what gave you the idea of starting up your business?
Yeah, Connor, that's a great question. So one day, I started working in a shoe store. And I just worked in a shoe store, went to work every day, and it was okay for me, and I didn't think maybe I'd do it my whole life. But the man who was working in the shoe store, he was managing the store, he said to me one day, "Oh, John, I'm thinking about opening my own store." He was just managing someone else's store. He said, "Would you like to come and work with me?" And I said, I was young, and I said, "Sure, that sounds like a fine idea." And so I started to work with a man named Peter Fox. And he was my manager, and then he opened up another company. We called it Fox and Fluevog.
This was back in the 1970s.
That was back in 1970, exactly. And one thing led to another, and here it started. That's how I started. I just started by working in a shoe store.
I have no follow-ups because that was such a good execution of that answer. Now, this is a genuinely obvious question, but what's your favorite shoe out of the ones here or ones you produced?
Well, Connor, that's a great question again. You're thinking of good things. My first answer, which I normally say when somebody asks me that, I go, well, they're like my children. So I can't pick one child over another and saying that they're more special or I like them better. I like them all.
But what would be the best choice for that question?
Well, everybody is different. So different shoes work for different kind of people, just like different personalities. Sometimes when you talk to one person, you might talk to them one way. You talk to another person, you talk to them another way, because they're different personalities. And so my shoes are like that. They all have a personality. So one might, I don't know that this would be a good shoe for you.
It's more of a ladies thing than anything
there you
else.
go. But you might consider this one.
I'm not a big fan of pink. I'm more interested in blacks and whites
in a different color, of course. But anyway, so to answer your question properly, I think the best answer I can say is, I don't actually have a special shoe, and I think that they're all made for somebody.
All right, thanks for telling me about that. But one last question, because I know we'll start getting tight on time, but basically, what are you going to do with your company in the future? I mean, you've been so successful nowadays, I feel like you should think about the future.
The future is a funny thing. It sneaks up on you. Every day, we all get a little older, and we don't realize it. And one day, we go, oh, gee, where did life go? I'm getting older. And so we think of different things. So I think of different things than I thought when I was younger. I think maybe, I'd like to spend more time with my grandkids. Or I think, I got some projects I want to do that aren't related to my business. Maybe I like working on cars or boats or different things. And so I think about those things. And then I think about maybe I want to make sure I'm healthy. Right? And so I eat the proper breakfast and I exercise a little bit. I think about things like that. So that's how I find things are changing.
Well, yeah, I'm glad you were able to answer. I mean, yeah. Now, thank you for coming along today for our little interview today.
Connor,
and I'm glad every viewer here was able to enjoy this little broadcast that we specially made for all you guys. I'd like to thank the people at the Lights, Camera, Autism for helping us do this. And I'd like to say thanks for coming and hope you've enjoyed this very special edition of Sutherland News.